Hi Pisces, welcome to the Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Welcome to your March reading. I pulled a Celtic Cross spread with Quantum Tarot plus a Threads of Fate Oracle for your Catalyst energy. Really great spread, no reversals in this deck. Yeah, this is like a really magical spread, and I know February was like an amazing spread for you guys too, so it seems like you're really on a roll. Happy birthday, by the way. Let's get started. So your Catalyst energy, we have the Warrior. By Catalyst, I kind of mean this is your catalyst for change, transformation, and growth this month. So in order to stay in the highest point possible, this is the energy that you can lean on to utilize all the other cards in the spread. Okay, so the Warrior. Pisces, I feel like you're on a mission. I feel like the mission that you're on is very, very aligned with your heart and soul and your soul's purpose. So it's like you're kind of bang on the money in terms of the action that you're taking this month. While this requires, courage, a big aspect of the Warrior is walking with your fear in a healthy way. I kind of feel like you guys are just so up to the challenge that it's like not even a thought. And I mean, I'm getting a very Chariot-like energy with this in terms of like, you're just propelling forward and nothing can stop you, and you have the momentum. And since the momentum is coming from a heart-centered place, it really is kind of like nothing can stop you because you know that what you're going for is in your heart. So that it's like, that the universe is behind you and that you really can't be stopped. And so the Warrior, what I'm feeling is that you're just this unstoppable force of nature right now. And to remind yourself of that, if you get into any moments this month, because as any of us who like really do our soul work and really take action in the world based on that authenticity we're kind of always coming up against this uncomfortable edge that is growth, and not only growth but being a change agent in the world, making things happen for yourself, creating the world that you want to live in and making the life that you want to live in is scary work, because we have a culture that tells us no, you can't, right? So this is an amazing energy to lean into. If you have any moments this month, it is cultural story or limiting narratives. It is not you. It is not your light. It is not what you are capable of doing. And you know that. So just come back anytime you need reminding. Come back to the fact that right now you are an unstoppable force of nature and the universe is behind you. Okay, this is a month for action. This is a month for action. Okay. In the center, moving into the Celtic Cross, we have the Four of Pentacles. So it's important to remember that you need to gather resources for whatever it is that you're doing. If you're right at the beginning of something, or past the planning stages, or it's just like something's forming in your mind but it's not quite clear, yes, you might be taking action this month. Yes, you're capable of doing whatever it is that you're setting out to do. Also, yes, you're in it for the long haul, because whatever you're doing matters. Like whatever you're doing is really soul-led, which means it's going to require work and time. And so just remember that if you don't have the materials required to do it yet, that doesn't mean that you won't forever. I think it's just time to start thinking about what you do need in order to succeed in this. So things like money, or any other objects you need, location, people, like a team, whatever you need to get going on this, just start considering where you can get it and start working on building a foundation. Okay, that's going to be really important. Even if you spend a long time doing it, having the foundation for whatever you're doing is really, really key, so that you have the safety to build on, so that once things start really taking off and manifesting and growing, you don't even have to worry about your foundation, right? There's just no risk of, you kind of being like cut off at the knees or something, right? So make sure that you get your resources in order. That is really, really key. Okay, crossing that card, we have two major arcana. We have the Magician and the Justice card. Let's look at the Magician first. Yeah, the Magician is saying geez, I keep saying that really weirdly. The Magician is saying that when you, whatever it is that you're doing right now, this is really well designed, kind of on the etheric level. It's almost like the whole path is already laid out for you. Not to say like it's a predestination thing, but because you are already so determined to do what it is that you're doing, you've already set your intentions, they've already manifested on the screen of space, and they just need time and action and resources to develop in the real world. So remember that whatever it is that you're doing, like spirit's already got it. They've got your signal, they've received your message, and they are designing. Okay, so make sure that you're really staying in the flow of that. So I mean, this is a bit of a, need to hold space for both here. One, the very Piscean kind of etheric aspect of this, the fact that you can feel into whatever it is that you're doing or manifesting. You can feel into that field, and you can kind of feel as if like it's already done, like it's already been structured and all of that. It's important to tap into that because that's what you need to bring into the earth. So make sure that you have a relationship with kind of the architecture or design or like visualization of what it is that you are planning. Also, keep in mind, manage your expectations, because even though the universe has received that signal and it's kind of real for you on that level, getting it down to earth is the task. And you are going to run into challenges. You are going to hit points where you don't know what to do. You're going to hit points where it feels like you're going backwards. You're going to hit points where it feels like you've stalled out, right? And that's just the nature of working with what is in a physical material reality that, that requires time for these things. And so just remember that as long as you stay in your flow, in your energy field, in your authenticity, and you keep moving forward, this is going to happen. I think it's just going to be a patience thing, and not allowing any hang up or obstacle or challenge or whatever to be used against you to say that, hey, this isn't working. Because it's not that it's not working, it's that you got to find the right timing, you got to find the right channels. Things are going to come up to trigger you so that you clear your triggers and you don't have to deal with them moving forward. So, this is soul work. Everything that comes up for you to deal with is not a measure of your failure. It's a measure of your success and progress, and success and progress just does not seem linear to us, right? So just remember that. Remember that this is working, okay? And paired with that, we have the Justice card. Again, striking a balance. I already said that. Striking a balance between the vision and what you need to do right now. What is the reality? What is required of you? What's the next step, okay? Yeah, okay. That's all I'm going to say on that. Deep past affecting the present, we also have two cards. I pulled the World, which I think I pulled for you guys last month. And I also pulled the Four of Swords, which this has been collectively haunting everybody. Let's start with the World. Yeah, so I mean, this is recent past. You know what you want to do, right? You've gotten clear on your vision, and it's not just your vision. Like, this is the world. So like what you're doing right now, Spirit is backing you. Spirit is backing you. Spirit wants this to happen. Okay? So this really is like your soul's purpose, your destiny. You found it, right? And with that comes a lot of fear, because it's really easy to doubt yourself in those moments, especially in the culture that we're in, when you can feel it so strongly, and you can feel the momentum building of that, you can feel the inspiration, you can feel the flow. When you're pulled out of that, it can be soul crushing in that moment, because it feels like, oh, was I just on this high and I was wrong and everybody else is right, or whatever, right? So again, you're gonna have to keep yourself in check here, your ego in check, in terms of not listening to the naysaying voices and not treating each challenge as if it's the end of the world. Okay, that's really important, because we have the world here. This is like all the green lights you need in the world, and so yeah, staying in the flow is what's going to allow channels to open up. When you get ripped out of that flow, that's okay. Just find your inner warrior and come back and remind yourself that you're doing all of this for a reason, and it is going to work out, okay? It's just going to take time, because it's real. Things that are really real and need to manifest take time, because they're in it for the long haul. They are structural changes, right? And that's what we need to make in the collective. So, light workers are kind of being fast-tracked in terms of their own healing, I feel. Like, people are like dealing with intense transmutation and transformations, right? And then we're trying to figure out how to make it all work in this world that is not built for the energy frequencies that collectively we are at. The ones of us that are kind of pioneering this new future and dismantling the overgrowth that capitalism has created. And And so just remember that that's why. That's why you're running into every single challenge potentially. Like every challenge that you run into, it's holding a mirror and saying, "Hey, look at your own soul work." That's because, the universe wants to prepare you to be the person that you need to be to hold what you're trying to hold in terms of the work that you're trying to do. Okay, so it's like you need to be that person. The vision that you have, once you're there, you also need to be that person in its manifestation. And so a lot of the challenges are about getting you to address the wounds needed to do your own healing work and show up as that person. So it's all about transformation. It's not about things not working out, okay? So just remind yourself of that. It's paired with the Four of Swords. Okay, so this is basically saying that anytime you have a moment where the self-doubt creeps in, where the worry creeps in, where the disillusionment creeps in, not enough, whatever stories you tend to run. This is saying whenever that happens, just pull back and recenter. So stop trying to force things that aren't happening for you. Stop trying to argue against, naysayers who are just going to continue to try to beat you down to the ground because they don't understand, right? Just pull back from all of that and then reconnect with yourself, breathe, meditate, get back into the flow. Okay, so that's the task here. Instead of trying to force ahead when you meet the blockages, go inward and remove the blockages inward. Because all of this, everything that you're doing, because of the Magician here, is a manifestation you've sent to the universe, which means that the universe is co-creating this with you. And what happens when you're on that kind of thread is a lot of things that will indicate to you that something's off. And it's not telling you that you're off your path. It's telling you, hey, address these things and get back on the path. It's time for you to address this wound. Now get back on the path. And so it's very not linear. It's very cyclical because it's authentic. It's real. It's soul-led. And that runs on a different clock. It's not linear the way that capitalism is tries to be linear. But the reason why capitalism is no longer working is because you can't just keep going. Like you're gonna max out and everything's gonna break apart, and that's what we're seeing happen. And so in order to avoid that story, you have to be in the flow, you have to be in the cycle, you have to be in the wax and wane, you have to move with nature because that's how things persist, okay? In your foundation, we have the Ace of Cups. So you can just tap into your good feelings this month. It's gonna be grounding for you. The flow, the emotional flow, that feeling of inspiration, that feeling of fulfillment that you experience when you're tapping into the flow of what all of this stuff is doing is what's going to ground you because that is what's real. And so, of course, be in your body, like be embodied, feel yourself, fill your body with conscious awareness, be here now, and experience that abundant universal flow at the same time because it's nourishing you, it's filling you, it's cleaning you, and it's allowing you to manifest everything else. And so, yes, be on the ground, but also lean into that Piscean energy of just like, just being in what it feels like to be yourself and to be, moving towards your destiny. And that's what's going to ground you. That's what's going to remind you in your wobble moments to just come back to yourself. Just come back to yourself. And you're going to feel so much better this month, I think. In general. Crowning you this month, we have the Knight of Wands. So you're gonna get shit done this month. You're gonna move fast. Offers might come in, opportunities might come in. I think if opportunities and offers do come in, I think you're gonna jump on them and take them rather quickly. I would say, yeah, this is the time to experiment, to chase trails, to find out what works. On the caveat that if something doesn't work out, just let it go. Just let it go and try something else. Assess what you learned and move on. Okay, I think this is the time for that. What works, what doesn't, just figure it out. Okay. New circumstance this month. Two of Swords. So also decisions to make, and the path forward may not be completely clear. I think here it's a good time to just trust what you know, trust what you don't know also, and trust the fact that you will know eventually when you need to. So anything that is unclear, just allow it to ruminate. Everything that is clear, do it. Take action, be embodied, make decisions, right? But whatever is not clear to you right now, just let it be. Just let it be because it will be able to continue to just gestate and seed itself and grow. And then when the time comes to make a decision, I think it will just reveal itself. It's really important that you follow the signs here with the universe because because this is a co-creation with the universe. And so if things aren't clear, just let it go. Just let it be what it is until things emerge later. And yeah, so this is about being in your timing and being in your patience and being in your flow. The more you're in the flow, the more you'll be able to navigate, well, the weirdness of this. And it's going to be weird because we're in a new era, okay? So the same rules are not applying anymore. And if somebody tries to force you to apply old rules, it's absolutely not going to work. So you got to trust yourself. You got to trust spirit, okay? Your energy this month. Two of Wands, manifester. Also, this is a planning energy. So while you may be busy this month and you may be taking certain actions and you may be considering how you're going to get the resources you need to get this off the ground, don't feel like you have to do too much at once. Again, I feel like what the theme here that I keep feeling into is you're really excited. You're really excited and you want to go, go, go. And you're just going to have to pull back, because if you get thrown out of your timing, that's when obstacles are going to happen. So can you sit? Can you sit with your excitement and your restlessness and your impatience and your enthusiasm? Can you just sit with it and not take action and see what happens, right? Not that you have to do nothing. I think you're going to do something and things are going to come in, but it's almost like as long as you're in the flow and prepared, you'll be able to just follow the thread when it arrives. You don't have to seek it out as much. Not that I don't want to deter you. I don't want to tell you to just sit on your ass and wait. That's totally not what I'm saying. But I also, don't want you to get too ahead of yourself and then lose track of the flow. And so it's really important to stay in that flow, to take action when it feels necessary, and to just sit on your laurels when it doesn't. Okay, you don't have to do everything at once. Again, this is a long, sustainable road, so you absolutely don't have to do everything at once. Just get clear on what you do want. The interesting thing about the Two of Swords here and the Two of Wands here is the Two of Swords is kind of like unclear, blindfold over your eyes. You don't know how to make a decision, but a decision has to be made. And Two of Wands is more like realizing that you don't have to make a decision right now, that you're like looking at these two doors, right, or maybe more doors, and it's feeling empowered to understand that there is no right choice. There's just choice and what happens afterwards. So you get to decide when you make the choice and what choice you make. And for now, if you feel like it with this Two of Swords energy, you can just sit in front of both doors and lotus position, breathe, and just let it be. Just sit in front of those two doors, and eventually it will become clear to you which one you want to walk through. Okay, so no rush. I understand the excitement, and there's no rush. Environmental energy this month, we have the Page of Cups. Again, so offerings are going to come in this month. These could be love offerings, but because whatever it is that you're doing, whatever this project, career path, I think for many of you is, I think it could be job-related or career-related opportunities, because you love what you do. I mean, Cups isn't usually job-related, but it is if what you're doing is soul-led. And so it could be offerings of love of some sort. If you have your eye on somebody, it's a good month to make a move, I think. Yeah, I'm getting that pretty strongly. And if you've got your eye on some sort of job, some sort of person you want to collaborate with, some sort of project, anything like that, this is the time to move forward. If it's a job, they're going to come to you. Yeah, it looks like they might come to you, but again, that's another thing where I'm saying, don't sit on your ass. You know what I mean? If you're in the flow and you're feeling it and it just feels like the right time for you to extend an offer, do it. Don't wait, okay? Hopes and fears this month. Took me a second. I was still on this. We have the King of Wands. Okay, again, yeah, you're just feeling all the power and enthusiasm in the world. Your energy field is so big, it's on fire, it's electric, you're flowing. I don't think you're afraid of it. I think other people might be, not because they know consciously that you're just like radiating and electric right now, but because they can feel it from you. And people that aren't in their power as much as you are might be inherently triggered by that. And so I think that's why I keep feeling into this energy of like people naysaying or like knocking down like what you're trying to accomplish, and it kind of creating like this moment in you where you need to assess and come back into yourself and remind yourself who the fuck you are. That's what I'm getting from this, is that like you might just be by nature triggering others right now, and then they have something to say about what you're doing. Just remember that that comes from their own fear, not from like your lack of ability to see what's really going on. Okay, you know what's going on, you know what you want to do, you can feel it, it feels real to you. Just because they can't feel it, that's on them. Okay, so just remind yourself of that. I think a lot of the fear is coming from like other people instilling fear in you because they're afraid of you. Hopes, obviously, you hope for the world right now, and so just slow your roll, just hold steady, because you're gonna get it. It's just not gonna be tomorrow. Okay, you just got to take this a step at a time, and not temper your enthusiasm, but at least get into a space where you can allow your enthusiasm to just be without having to like push it out just because you have energy. Okay, so another way to channel that energy may be important, whether you work out or do art or like whatever, something that helps you get that excess enthusiasm out so that you can be grounded. Okay, and then outcome this month, we have the Page of Swords. And so this is you by the end of the month kind of being filled with new ideas, brimming with ideas, kind of the pot's bubbling over with ideas, and you're like, okay, what am I gonna do next? And so again, this is enthusiasm led. You're feeling so enthusiastic and excited. It's kind of bursting forth in the form of like all of these different ideas. And so be in that, be in the flow, be in those ideas, write things down, whatever, and don't take any action yet. Because, you know, when it comes time for the real manifestation, not all ideas are going to be used, or at least not right away, or an idea will be used but in a different way than you previously imagined. So try not to be too attached to what you're coming up with either. I love the flow of ideas and the brainstorming, that's great. Also, just let things come and go. You don't have to like have a grip on every single thing, because what that ends up doing is you can kind of limit your path forward, and you're on such a big playing field right now. You're co-creating with spirit, and you don't want to create that limitation. And what you're doing when you attach to a certain idea and a certain way that that idea needs to be presented, when it doesn't happen, now you're thrown out of your flow and you're back in your spiral where you feel like nothing's going to happen, and you don't want to be there. So I mean, once you're there, it's going to get you to address a wound you need to address. So I wouldn't say, don't be avoidant either. I mean, even the spiral moments have something to teach us, and that's why they come up. But just remember that that might come up where, you know, you're enthusiastic, you're filled with ideas, you have an idea, you try to carry it out, the idea doesn't work, and you crash, right? And so then we have kind of this like high and low thing going, where you're like enthusiasm, oh no, everything's awful and not working. And we want to keep you out of that polarity, okay? I want you to feel yourself. I want you to feel that enthusiasm. I want you to feel that energy, and I don't want that to end up creating attachments and then like soul-crushing disappointment for no reason, okay? You have no reason to be disappointed. You have everything in the world to be excited about. Be grounded. Find your materials, structure yourself, temper your enthusiasm, temper your expectations, be open, be fluid, allow things to become what they are, okay? And trust the universe, it's gonna get you there. Trust yourself, you're gonna get yourself there, okay? That's all I have for you. That was a lot that I just said. I feel like I said it very fast as well. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. I'm excited. I feel your enthusiasm. I can't wait to see how these things unfold for you. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are doing. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see the next Pisces video, schedule a reading with me if you want to discuss any sort of logistics or anything that's coming up for you about this, and we can talk about it. And yeah, otherwise, I look forward to your reading in April. Have a great March, guys.